welcome. This is my favorite mortgage podcast. You are listening to Jaimie Booth, a licensed loan officer in Arizona and Texas. And we want to thank you for listening to a newer podcast that lets people behind the curtains of the buying, selling, refinancing, fun world of mortgage and real estate. We have a returning guest today. We had so much fun that we brought him on again. We have Daniel Strickler.
Hi, folks. I'm Daniel Strickler with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, and the Tom Krieger Team.
Nice. And Daniel and I have known each other for, I think it's going on 7 years.
Close to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, close to it. Yeah,
So
not far off. Lucky number 7.
Yeah, maybe this year will be lucky number 7.
We're definitely hoping for it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Please, I always love your questions.
This one has been coming up on my feed
Okay.
on my For You page. And I got to ask, because I asked my husband, he didn't really answer it the way everyone else was.
Oh, no.
But for men, apparently this is a big thing.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
How often do you think of the Roman Empire?
You're like what Caesar built and Nero broke down?
How many times do you think of, or how often?
Ironically, the other day, because my kids were wanting to do something. Yeah, so ironically, the other day, it actually came up into my head, and, I'm like, Rome wasn't built in a day, but Nero sure played that fiddle and burned it down in a day, so it, surprisingly more, now that you're asking the question, surprisingly more than what I would imagine. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that seems to be the answer. I don't know if you knew that, but men think of the Roman Empire like weekly, sometimes daily.
Huh. I don't know that I'd go daily, but I could definitely say once a month. I feel that would be safe not to tell big, tall tales. Yeah.
Do you want to know how many times women think of the Roman?
Please share.
Never. I don't think of, my husband said, I was doing, a job, and I was thinking about the water aqueducts of how he goes all the time, something will pop in and he will think of the Roman Empire.
Okay. Maybe it's just a guy thing.
Joe? Occasionally? Now you guys are going to be self-aware.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, most definitely. It's going to be like, does my breath stink? Am I thinking about Rome?
Why am I thinking about the Roman Empire?
That is, because, literally, just a couple weeks ago, I was actually, I swear to you, no kidding. It's,
Yeah.
All right.
So you guys, let us know. And how many times, let's just take a month time frame.
Okay.
And how many times you think of it.
I like this. I definitely like this. I'm going to write it on my hand. It's where I keep all my notes so I don't forget.
Yeah. I'd be curious. You ask your friends, your buddies, brothers, even your dad.
Yeah.
And see what they say. Huh. And they'll go, I just thought of it the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Women, never.
That's interesting.
All right. I got a riddle for you because this one stumped me. And I told it to Michelle, and she got it right away. I don't know if she had heard it. Hang on, technical difficulties. Sorry. He got excited over the Roman Empire.
I did, folks. Sorry about that.
Testing, you can hear?
Oh, yes, I can absolutely hear. Sorry about that.
So I have a riddle.
Okay.
There's 30 cows out in the field, 28 chickens. How many didn't?
30 cows and 28 chickens. How many didn't?
Yeah. Don't feel bad. I did not get this one.
You didn't get it either, huh?
30 cows in a field.
Okay.
28 chickens. How many didn't?
I'm kind of getting some hints over here, but I'm still lost at this though. Because that's definitely a riddle. That's like, you're looking out of a southward window. Excuse me. How did the riddle go? You're looking out a southward window, and it's snowing outside. A bear passes by. What color is the bear?
Brown.
See, the answer is white, because if you're looking out of a southward window, it's snowing outside. It's supposed to be like you're in the Arctic Circle and that kind of thing. It took me a while to understand that one. I didn't quite tell the riddle right. But I tell you what, if you watch, there's an old Sherlock Holmes movie that has that riddle in it, and that's where I got it from. Nevertheless, though,
How many didn't?
I don't know how many didn't. Joe, I'm getting a signal over here that it's 10.
The answer is 10.
But what is, help me understand
Because
how it's 10.
28 chickens. How many didn't? Because there were 30 cows.
And 28 chickens. Oh, gosh. Bam! Hit the drums. Okay, they ate the chicken.
Yeah, they ate the chicken.
If you were at Chick-fil-A and
I'm who's imagining cows eating chickens?
Yeah,
Like 28 chickens. I'm thinking little chicken. No.
yeah,
Yeah, that one stumped me.
that'd be like if you have a rooster on the peak of your roof and it lays an egg. Which way is the egg gonna fall?
Roosters don't lay eggs.
Thank you. Boom. That was an easy riddle, right? Awesome.
All right, one more.
Please.
Which letter of the alphabet is full of water?
You're looking at
If he's going to
Which-
cheat and give you the
which-
answers, I'm checking to see if he knows this one.
Which letter of the alphabet is full of water?
Yeah. Ooh, I got him, guys.
I'm gonna have to go out on the dad mindset here and say P.
So close. It rhymes with it.
E?
No.
D?
Start at the very beginning.
A pool's full of water.
Or a sea,
A sea?
the ocean, the sea.
I can hear the seagulls now.
Guys, this is a helpful podcast to help people buy and sell, but Daniel and I just will,
Yeah, have a little fun with it.
we
Why
do
not?
this trying to stump each other.
Yeah, no, that's.
But I got the rooster one.
I
So.
like that. You are much. You've had your coffee this morning, haven't you?
I've had several cups. I think I've done three cups of coffee.
You're a live wire right now. Then watch out.
You know, I think I have drank coffee for so many years that it just doesn't have that regular effect.
And I guess mine, because I drink Coke like it's going out of style. And
That has a lot of caffeine.
yeah. It's got a lot of caffeine, and it's kind of bad. I've been trying to wean myself off a little bit because when you wake up in the morning,
Feeling
and
like P. Diddy.
you gotta, and you gotta have that Coke first thing in the morning. That's bad. That's bad.
That's how I am with coffee, though. So, I mean, it's just one caffeine for another.
Yeah,
Some people are tea. Some
Yeah.
people are Red Bull.
Oh, goodness gracious. I don't know that I could do the Red Bull. Yeah, no.
No. All right. So you're not there yet.
No, I'm not there yet.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Yes.
We had a kind of crazy 23. We've got a new year, 24. My hope is that interest rates will get better
From what we're seeing, they're down 2 points.
from October till now.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, that's a great trend. Just keep it up.
Just keep it up. But I got to ask you this because this came up over the weekend for me,
Okay.
where I was helping someone because they originally had a lender, but this was an out-of-state lender.
Okay.
And
I'm
over
sorry.
the weekend, right?
Yeah.
This realtor was trying to submit an offer, and you can't get a hold of this other lender, but they had a pre-qualification letter. What they thought, the buyers thought in their head, would be sufficient.
Right.
But Arizona is a very unique state.
It is. You want an Arizona prequal, not a general blanket statement. You
Right.
need an Arizona prequal.
We have our own forms.
Yes.
And when you're working with someone who isn't familiar with those, it's going to be the difference of getting the house or not.
Yeah.
And so she reached out, and I was able to generate this letter, which, it's very detailed. There's
Yes.
questions on there that we have to fill out, a yes, no, or not applicable. And it's down to, did I get their bank statements? Did I get their paycheck stubs? And it's a yes or no or NA. And so we also will put, what we verified. Did we run a credit report? And when you're looking at one of those generic letters, it doesn't go into that detail.
No, it does not. Goodness gracious. No, folks, please work with a local lender, if anything. The way I look at it is it's like we can go to Walmart and we can get everything we need, or we can go to that local store that has exactly what we need, that fits our tastes and is better service, more responsive. I've
not so processed.
Not so, goodness gracious. And you can actually get somebody on the phone. That's a huge difference. I'd had some clients not long ago, actually, that did their pre-qual through, let's just call them an online lending source. I won't blast anybody. And I told them, I said, hey, if for some reason things start to go crazy, I've got a great local lender that I can connect you with. And got a great local lender that I can connect you with and, make this process a whole lot smoother. So if I remember correctly, some stuff had come in where they didn't ask for some particular documents that were needed, proven income, this, that, and the other. I'd got through all that headache of a mess, and then it come down to it that their appraiser was actually lowballing the heck out of this house. And my buyers were even like, no way. And generally, you're wanting to be like, well, let's see if we can get it for that. They're like, no, this house is definitely worth what we're offering for it.
Right.
There's no reason that they won't give us this appraisal and move forward with this. So switch to a different lender. And we got the appraisal back in. Everything was smooth. We closed right on time. And it went from a 45-day process with this online big store box lender to somebody that was here local that said, hey, here's what I need, ABC, XYZ. We can make this close in 2 weeks and you can get into your house. And everybody was ecstatic and it worked out perfectly. We had, somebody that wasn't working for a big box lender that actually went out, did a proper appraisal, and we come back much closer. It was a little bit lower, but we're talking $20,000 versus $5,000 difference.
That's a huge difference.
That's a huge difference, especially, when you're in these folks, they had a couple kids and they were moving from one state to another and thought that they could use this bigger lender, and it didn't work out well for them. So I definitely say talk to a local lender, just because they're here. They know all of the programs that Arizona has to offer, forms.
And the forms,
and it's different from somebody that's, sitting in an office somewhere in Kansas that's saying, oh, we can get this done, not knowing what each state's going to need to get that done. I myself would, while the big box lenders are great, hey, they serve their purpose, whatever. I personally would never use one of them. I'd use a local lender. Yeah.
There's also a form that is very specific to Arizona, and we call it an LSU.
We do.
And LSU stands for a loan status update. And in the Arizona purchase contract is written in there that a lender must provide those quiz. How many days after contract?
3.
10.
I get so confused because you've got the Benzer, or excuse me, you've got the Spuds, you've got, there's some different forms that go in there that have, so it's 10 days. Thank you for the reminder. I always say 3. Get it to me now. I want it with the offer. So that way I can show it to my clients to prove that they are legitimate.
So this LSU, this loan status update, we've got a routine. My team has one every Tuesday. And the contract is written that it has to be delivered to buyer agent and the seller agent within 10 days of contract acceptance. But it's only one. But what I do is I take it to that next step, and you get one every single week. It's in underwriting. We got approval. We got loan lock.
Check,
everything.
Check. Yep.
Right.
And I love that.
And there's a lot of people that are a lot of loan officers outside of the state that has no idea, because the contract even has LSU.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it even has the acronym. So when you're working with someone, you're like, hey, I need it for my file. It's 10 days. I need an LSU. They're like,
Yeah. And trying to get in touch with a lender that's in Kansas is like trying to call the IRS. Exactly. Leave a message. We'll call you back in 24 to 48 hours.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I need this kind of today.
There's also something that a lot of people may forget. States have different community property laws.
Mm-hmm.
And Arizona is a community property state where if you're getting a government loan, like a FHA or VA, and you're married, I need that spouse's debts as part of the file because of the community property state.
Yeah, we own this together.
Right. And so sometimes that gets forgotten, and then you get a pre-qual, and you have your agent going out there and making offers, and then you get to underwriting, who knows the state laws, and when there's debts that weren't accounted for, it could make or break the deal.
Oh, it does. I've seen some people get their feelings hurt big time over that.
Yeah. So
luckily, we've got a great person like Jaimie here to help us out. So
I'm always willing to help, even on a Sunday. I don't mind. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on.
Always happy to be here. Is this where we get to the fun part and you ask me some cool questions?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it was actually dad joke.
Goodness.
These are dad jokes.
Okay.
Let me do this one.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. How do you make a tissue dance?
How do you make a tissue dance? I gotta
You
know.
put a little boogie in it.
Oh, love it. Have you seen those guys on TikToks that do the deer blind jokes?
Yes.
Yes. I love
They're
those
so
guys.
funny.
Yes.
When is a door?
Not a door.
A door.
When it's a jar. Because they're hiding in a little blind, and and then they got the ones where they'll sit on like the boat dock or whatnot. And
We did that one too.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh my God,
Love it.
I have no original ideas. I apologize. All my stuff is stolen from other people that are just hilarious.
I'm gonna give you the credit because I've seen some of your stuff and it's over the top. I'm like, yeah, she's got this.
Cryptocurrency investing is a lot like magic.
Yeah.
It's simple. I put money in it and poof, it disappears.
Yeah, I could see that. Yes, most definitely.
Okay. Smash or pass?
Okay.
Would you rather have a full tank of gas always or unlimited cell phone battery?
I'll take the gas.
The gas,
I'll
I
take
know,
the
because
gas.
it's so damn expensive.
I know. It'll go up 30 cents, but you won't see it come down 30.
I got to say, by 5 o'clock, my phone is dead. I would probably do the cell phone battery.
I live on a charger. If I'm in the vehicle, it's on a charger. If I'm at the office, it's on a charger.
You're far more disciplined than me. I'm like, I forgot to take it off of never from shutting down, and then the battery's dead. Okay. Would you rather have vacation in the mountains or a beach?
I'll take the beach.
Beach
I live in the
over-
mountains. Yeah.
You've already lived in the mountains.
I live in the mountains. I would not live away from mountains, so I'll take the beach.
Got it.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a buyer that opens up a credit card a day before closing or a termite report that has evidence of termites?
I'll take the termite report.
Me too.
I'll take the termite report all day long. At least we
Me
can fix
too.
that easily.
Yep.
Yeah.
Termites are actually pretty inexpensive to treat.
Oh, yeah.
In the grand scheme of house stuff.
Yeah. A couple $100. A lot of times you can get a seller to pay for it.
Yeah.
So I'll take the termite report of any day over destroying your loan pre-qualification.
Over a damn credit card.
Yeah. Just wait until it's over. Don't buy the jet ski yet. It's okay.
Well, we touched on something on the interest rates, right?
Okay, yeah.
And navigating a competitive market, because we all are kind of saying, okay, interest rates have come down.
Oh, yes. Thankfully.
And they're not, a 4, but they are definitely competitive.
Yeah.
Can you discuss a few strategies that your buyers are doing right now to help win in a competitive market?
Now, when you say strategies to help them win, are you talking more on helping getting points bought down by sellers, money
Whatever
towards
is
closing?
getting your contract accepted over the other two. What are some of the things you're doing?
We will, of course, run a market analysis to make sure that the house is priced appropriately.
Right.
And then, call and talk to our lender and say, hey, what exactly do we need for closing costs? So that way, if a buyer is looking for closing costs, we know exactly what that number is. So we're not writing in a contract, oh, well, we need 3 or 4% of the purchase price.
When we may not need it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're wanting to, because obviously everybody wants to keep as much money as they can in their pocket, and buyers want to get the best deal possible.
Right.
So, if we know an exact number going into it, it definitely makes it a lot more attractive to say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we only need $7,500 to get our closing done. And if we need to help get point spot down, we talk with you as well to see what kind of money we're going to need. So I think having a clear expectations laid out before them to say, hey, these are what the numbers look like, and it makes your offer look a whole lot stronger.
Yeah.
Not a lot of back and forth with counter offers makes things so much more easier.
Yeah. And there's something that I do that I'm not sure a lot of lenders do, is I always call the listing agent.
She does.
And I'm like, hey, our buyers that I pre-approved, not pre-qualified, made an offer on your house with Daniel, and just wanted to give my information and ask if you had any questions on my Arizona pre-qual letter.
which is definitely a good win. And it makes, and things like that do help to make the transaction so much smoother.
And just kind of stand out in a competitive market.
It does, yeah.
And I've been seeing offers that are getting accepted where we're having to go in a little over. That's
a couple here and there, yeah.
Come up again, but we need the seller concessions, so it's a wash on the seller side.
Right.
But I've been definitely seeing, 4 or 5 offers on the table that are going to be over.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just going to continue.
Yeah, especially with the rates coming down, I feel very strongly that it's going to continue. And, if your house is priced right, even with the scary news that we're seeing, the market's still moving.
People still need houses.
Yeah, I had some buyers that I was working with here the other week, and they had a $500,000 house. They were like, we love this. It's seen it come on the market on, let's say, Friday. Saturday, when we went to go take a tour of it, it was already under contract. So, so the market's still moving, folks.
Yeah.
People are still buying and selling houses. It's not so doom and gloom. I promise.
It isn't, because you still need shelter.
Yeah. It's, it's like the big evils: electricity, water,
exactly, air,
automotive. You got to have those. So it's,
Well, again, if you're even thinking about buying, or your lease is coming up, I think it's time to buy a house.
Yeah.
If you've got a little bit of money in the bank,
or even if you don't, there's great down payment programs out there.
It's time to buy a house.
If you don't mind being a little bit further out, USDA might even be an option for you. So there's a bunch of different options, and I'm sure you could talk more about that than I could.
Yeah, USDA is a fantastic loan.
Oh, yes.
100% financing.
Yeah, I used it a few years ago. I was 45 minutes outside of town. Ooh, big deal.
If you don't mind the commute, you can get in and with a no down payment loan, and you don't have to be a veteran.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even at that, even the drive, when you look at the bigger picture of things, if you live in town, let's just say on the west side of Tucson, you live on the west side of Tucson, to get to the east side of Tucson,
still 45 minutes.
It's still going to take you 45 minutes. So, yeah, exactly. So what difference does it matter if you could get into a house and, statistically, and I'm sure you can attest to this, folks only live in their house for 3 to 5 years anyway.
Yeah, it's not as long as you think.
Yeah.
Life happens.
Yeah.
Your family grows, jobs,
Death,
family.
divorce, diapers.
Yeah.
It's,
Death, divorce, and diapers. I love that.
You got the big D's that come in there, so you never know when they're going to pop up.
I can't. But yeah, it's time to buy a house.
Yeah, it is.
There's no perfect time. Just do it.
Yeah. Why,
it.
My big thing, because I rented for a couple of years myself. I know, blasphemy for a real estate agent, but it took me a while to get to know the area.
You moved here, of course.
Where you want to be. So we rented for a while. Hey, it is what it is. Definitely got to know the area, but I personally, rentals are great. They're a great place to start off in, especially when you don't know.
Yeah,
it's a great way to get that. Save some money. You can definitely learn how to become disciplined on your budget in a rental.
Yeah.
And then you move on to, buying your own house. And then in a couple of years, you can refinance, pull some equity out. Buy your own rental.
else?
Buy your own rental. Buy yourself another house. Keep
Yeah.
the one you got. I mean, there's a number of options.
There's so many things you can do with real estate.
Yeah.
And the first step is just jumping in.
Yeah.
So how would someone get a hold of you?
That's a great question. Should I just blast out my phone number?
Or they can find you on Facebook.
Facebook, Twitter, or not Twitter, excuse me. Still working on that one. It's now formerly known as Twitter. It's like Prince. You know, it's
X or
formerly
something. Yeah.
known as Twitter. But
Instagram.
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Google search me. You know,
Daniel Strickler.
Yep.
And he's part of the Keller Williams team with Tom Krieger, right?
Tom J Krieger. Yes, ma'am. Yep.
And so if you want to get a hold of him, you can also reach out to us at myfavemortgage@gmail.com. You can find us streaming on all major platforms. We do have our YouTube channel at My Favorite Mortgage with Jaimie Booth. And if you have any questions whatsoever, you want to share a story, the good, the bad, the ugly, we would love to be able to feature you on an upcoming podcast. And Daniel, thank you again so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Happy
Now
to be here.
Time to get to work and do more in 24.
Gosh, yeah, I got to go to work.
Me too. Again, thank you so much. This is My Favorite Mortgage Podcast. I am Jaimie Booth. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.